Good evening and welcome to EmoNews Nightly Package for August 13, 2026. We are your presenters, Michael Pierre
and Anna Gordon.
In the headlines, arrest made in case of missing teen.
NCCU launches initiatives to combat loan delinquency.
Former PSU General Secretary raises questions on budget presentation.
Soufriere preschool rebuilt after 9 years. Named after murdered philanthropist Dominique Marchand. Solar eclipse carves Eiffel Tower silhouette in Paris sky. Stay tuned, the details of these and more stories coming up.
In local news, Dominica's police chief Lincoln Corbett has confirmed the major development in the investigation into the disappearance of 16-year-old Jobia Paul of Granville, Portsmouth. Speaking at a press conference today, August 13, 2026, Corbett confirmed that human remains were discovered during a search in the Capuchin area and said police believe the remains are those of the missing teenager. He also confirmed that a police officer has been charged with murder in connection with the case. According to Corbett, 16-year-old Jobia Paul was reported missing on July 25, 2026 at approximately 10:35 p.m. The report was made at the Portsmouth police station, after which officers immediately responded and began their investigation. Police conducted extensive searches in the Portsmouth area and across several communities in the north of the island. The searches involved members of the police force, the fire and ambulance services, members of the community, and the teenager's family.
We will seek this morning to give you some information without disclosing too much, as not to interfere and undermine this ongoing investigation. On the 25th of July, at about 10:35 p.m. of this year, Jobia Paul was reported missing by a mother to the Portsmouth police station. Officers responded to the report and began investigation swiftly. You would have heard Mr. Maximin about a week ago address the issue as to what we did at the time.
The police chief says a major development occurred on August 10 following intelligence received by investigators. Police searched an area in Capuchin with assistance from fire and ambulance personnel, continuing the operation into August 11. A thorough search of a remote area on August 11 led to the discovery of human remains. Police are strongly convinced that the remains are those of the missing 16-year-old, although further details have not been disclosed. On August 12, shortly before 11 p.m., a serving police officer, Constable Jean-Luc Langley, was charged with murder. The officer appeared before a magistrate on August 13 and was remanded in custody pending trial.
In response to the report, we conducted several searches in the Portsmouth area, Benz, and many areas in the north of the island, hoping to find the missing child. All these searches proved futile. Again, the searches were conducted with the assistance of the fire service, members of the community, and members of the immediate family of the missing young girl, Jobia Paul. We interviewed several people and recorded several statements from witnesses or could be witnesses in this matter. As the days progressed, we upgraded the investigations, as it were, by assigning the Deputy Chief of Police as the Chief Investigator in this matter, assisted ably so by Chaucer James as the co-investigator, Inspector James as the co-investigator. As I indicated, we have interviewed many people during the course of the investigations and have many statements recorded. On Tuesday, the 10th of August, we had new developments in the case. That is, I should say, intel-led information. And we conducted a search in an area of Capuchin, along with the fire and ambulance services, an area referred to as Cana in Capuchin.
The police chief says that the investigation has received assistance from numerous regional and international partners. Among those assisting are the regional security system, the United States Embassy in Barbados, the FBI, Homeland Security Investigations, the French Embassy, local telecommunications providers, police authorities in Guadeloupe and St. Lucia. Corbett expressed appreciation for the assistance provided by those agencies. National Security Minister Honorable Rayburn Blackmore has called for seriousness, professionalism, and public confidence in the police as authorities continue their investigations into the disappearance of the missing teen. The minister expressed gratitude to the local and international law enforcement personnel involved. He specifically recognized investigative advisors, investigators, analysts, and specialized personnel who contributed to the operation. He said their commitment, including the time and resources devoted to the case, should be acknowledged.
And I'm happy to report that this forensic expert, despite his busy schedule, will be in Dominica early next week. Because this matter has to be dealt with without compromising due process in a timely fashion. And let me warn, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be as a Minister of National Security, but let me warn them fellas there, and women and men alike, wherever you are, who believe that you're going to get away because you can engage in the commission of crime with sophistication.
The minister ended by appealing for patience and restraint as the investigation continues. He said that the public should allow the police and their international partners to complete their work while respecting due process. His central message was clear: the disappearance of a child is a matter of requiring seriousness, professionalism, careful investigation, and the full attention of law enforcement. This was really not the outcome that we were expecting. On behalf of all of us here at EmoNews, we extend sympathies to the family, friends, and loved ones of Jobia Paul. Dominica joined Cuba in commemorating the 100th anniversary of Fidel Castro's birth, reflecting on his legacy of dignity, solidarity, and resilience. Cuban Ambassador Miguel Fraga said that the Cuban Revolution helped place independence, sovereignty, education, healthcare, science, and human dignity at the heart of national life. He highlighted Cuba's universal free education and healthcare, noting Cuba eradicated illiteracy and made healthcare a right. Fraga also emphasized long-standing Cuba-Dominica cooperation, including support after Dominica's 1978 independence and student exchanges began in 1979. More than 400 Dominicans have since graduated from Cuban universities, including over 130 doctors. Fraga added that Castro's legacy endures through both Cubans and Dominicans, whose lives have been transformed through education and professional opportunities. He described Castro's monument as a people that remembers and continues to believe and express hope that Cuba-Dominica brotherhood will last for generations. The National Cooperative Credit Union, NCCU, is introducing 2 new measures aimed at reducing loan delinquency, encouraging timely repayment, and protecting the long-term financial strength of the institution. The first measure allows for the publication of the names of borrowers with unpaid loans following a resolution approved by members at the NCCU's 16th Annual General Meeting on June 3. Acting Chief Executive Officer Susan Joseph Piper says publications will only be considered after reasonable efforts have been made to locate and engage delinquent borrowers, and those efforts have failed to result in repayment or a satisfactory arrangement. She stresses that publishing the names of delinquent borrowers will be used only as a last resort.
NCCU recognizes that unforeseen circumstances can affect a member's ability to meet financial commitments. For many years, we have worked closely with members through various measures to help them regain financial stability. We encourage members experiencing financial difficulty to contact us as early as possible so that we can explore appropriate solutions. When loans remain unpaid, it affects every member. Delinquent loans reduce our ability to provide financing, pay dividends, and invest in better services. As stewards of our members' savings and investment, we have a responsibility to protect the long-term strength of NCCU.
The second measure is the introduction of a patronage refund program, which will recognize and reward members who consistently make their loan payments on time. Eligible payments under the program will begin in 2027.
The Patronage Refund Program was created to reward our borrowing members and recognize responsible financial behavior. Every NCCU borrowing member who consistently makes their loan payments on time stands to benefit. The value of the refund will be based on the interest paid on the loan.
According to Joseph Piper, every borrowing member who consistently makes loan repayments on time stands to benefit, with the value of the refund based on the interest paid on the loan. The new measures form part of NCCU's wider efforts to address delinquency. Other initiatives include enhanced collection software, programs to assist borrowers in clearing past due debts, and the restructuring of collection departments. NCCU continues to encourage members experiencing financial challenges to make early contact with the institution to explore repayment options and to avoid more serious recovery actions. A long-awaited preschool in Soufriere has been rebuilt through a partnership involving donors, professionals, community members, and local organizations. The original wooden school was destroyed by Hurricane Maria, leaving children without a permanent facility for several years. Project architect Several Mackenzie designed the plans, while several donors contributed to the construction and furnishing of the new facility, including a playground. Parliamentary Representative for the Soufriere constituency, Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, says rebuilding the preschool was a top priority. She thanked Sam Raphael of Jungle Bay, the Jungle Bay staff, and Reddy Cup Family Endowment for their support, as well as the Soufriere Christian Union Church, which housed the preschool for 9 years while the new facility was being developed. The new preschool has been named in memory of Dominic Marshall, who, along with Daniel Lagua, made significant contributions to the community.
Dominic was a beautiful soul. She and Daniel gave so much to this community. Their kindness, their generosity, and their love for our people will forever be part of our story. Dominic and Daniel, we will never forget you. And that is why when Sam offered to rename this preschool in the memory of Dominic Marshall, I was truly blessed. And very soon, we will also rename the Soufriere Primary School after Daniel Langwa. We also give thanks for the recent victory at the courts. Nothing can bring back Daniel and Dominique, but we are grateful that justice will prevail.
Chairman of the Soufriere Village Council, Conrad Caesar, welcomed the completion of the facility, describing it as a significant achievement made possible through collaboration and the hard work of community members and other partners.
Special thanks to all the donors, Jungle Bay, and all the visitors we have that sponsor them into the building of the preschool. They will do more. And I believe, and I can see, they're looking forward to do more, as Dominique Masha and Daniel Langwa had wanted to do for Soufriere. I thank you all.
Fred Reddycup, who represented the Reddycup Family Endowment, who provided significant funds for the completion of the building, highlighted the importance of giving back and credited his parents for instilling those values in his family members. Drawing from his experience as a therapist, he emphasized the importance of play in early childhood development, describing it as the natural language of children before engaging the preschoolers in an interactive activity.
If you would, if we could give an applause for Helen Frieder. Mom and Dad, dearly departed, missed every day. So, as a therapist, I worked with kids, and I worked therapeutically with them, and we talked, but that wasn't the primary way that we did our work together. The way that we did our work was we played together, because play is the natural language of children, right? And so this is a preschool ceremony, so it's maybe a little bit different, but I wanted to have a little bit of a play activity that we do together.
Dominique Machad and Daniel Langwa were the proprietors of Coulibaly Ridge in Soufriere and were tragically murdered in 2023. And finally, in local news this evening, former PSU General Secretary Alvin Thomas is questioning the government's proposed move from the progressive income tax system to a flat tax, describing it as a major change that could have significant implications for taxpayers and government revenue. Thomas says that the decision raises questions about whether there was adequate consultation with the private sector, labor movements, and employers before the reform was proposed.
Dominica is the only island in the OECS, as well as CARICOM, that has a flat or intend to go, well, I guess this is from January, I believe, a flat rate tax structure. Antigua doesn't have income tax, and the Bahamas. But all of the other islands, not just the OECS, but the wider CARICOM region, they all have a progressive, what is called a progressive tax. And that range from anywhere from about, in the case of Jamaica, 25 up to 30%, Barbados, 28 up to 40%, in Dominica case, we were up to 35%. So keep that in mind, because that is very significant. And the question that begs is, when the government decide to move in that area, what level of discussion that took place among the private sector people and the rest of the country, in order to get their input, their say, their suggestions on the matter. I would want to beg and ask whether the DIC was consulted, whether the labor movement was called in, the Employers Federation, because, like I said, that has some implications.
Thomas is also questioning how the change will affect the government's finances, particularly given Dominica's reliance on citizenship by investment revenue. He says that the government needs to explain how much revenue could be lost under the new system, who will benefit most, and what impact the changes will have on lower and middle income workers. He is calling for greater clarity on the assumptions behind the tax reform, including whether increased disposable income will lead to higher consumer spending and VAT collections. Thomas says that the real test will come after the first full year when the country can assess whether the new tax structure strengthens government revenue or creates a shortfall. And that's the end of our local news. Stay tuned for regional and international news with Sowana Gordon.
Tico, that's $800. Cash or card?
When cash is low, Tico is still ready.
Always card, Chalo. Would you like a copy of the receipt?
No, Chalo. NBD already sent me the alert and I'll see it on Mo Banking later. That is it. From card to farm. Power your business with the NBD Small Business Credit Card. Your partner, your bank.
In regional news, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, St. Christopher and Nevis Circuit, held a special sitting to honor the late distinguished jurist Charles L.A. Wilkin. Members of the judiciary, legal profession, and government gathered to celebrate his contributions to the legal profession and administration of justice across St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider Eastern Caribbean. Tributes highlighted Wilkin's distinguished career, mentorship of young attorneys, and lasting impact on the region's legal profession. Attorney General Garth Wilkin, son of the late jurist, was also in attendance. The special sitting recognized Charles Wilkin's lifelong commitment to the rule of law and his enduring legacy. We extend our sincerest condolences to his family. 37 nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis have been awarded scholarships to pursue higher education in Taiwan. The scholarships were presented on Saturday, August 8th, with 28 recipients receiving Ministry of Foreign Affairs scholarships and 9 awarded through Taiwan's ICDF program. The ceremony brought together government officials, scholarship recipients, and their families, along with Taiwan's ambassador to St. Kitts and Nevis, Edward Lingwentao. The program highlights the long-standing educational and diplomatic partnership between St. Kitts and Nevis and Taiwan. And finally, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew has officially reopened the newly refurbished private ward at the Joseph N. France General Hospital. The government says more than $400,000 was invested in the upgrade, which includes 15 private rooms, new furniture and equipment, improved bathrooms and staff facilities, air conditioning, televisions, and a new buzzer system. Dr. Drew says the project is part of the government's broader effort to transform healthcare in St. Kitts and Nevis by improving patient comforts and giving healthcare workers the tools they need. He says while more work remains, the transformation of the healthcare sector is moving forward step by step. And that's all the regional news for this evening. We'll be right back with international news.
Blast Gaming presents its biggest job whatever. Blast Mystery Progressive. I'm so excited. I can't hide it. The new Blast Jackpot rising. And I like it. It going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up and up and up and up.
Play selected games to win in the Blast Mystery Progressive. Pick until you match 3 gems and win one of the 5 cash jackpots. Or you can blast up with the Mystery Progressive Jackpot.
And up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up. Blast Gaming.
And internationally, as the world marks International Youth Day, World Media Organization Editor-in-Chief Gautam Kav is highlighting the energy, creativity, and leadership of young people worldwide. Kav says youth are not only leaders of tomorrow, but change makers today, helping shape communities and nations. He says challenges such as climate change, conflict, inequality, and unemployment require meaningful youth participation. Kav is urging young people to embrace leadership, pursue knowledge, and use technology and innovation to promote peace, inclusion, and sustainable development. A partial solar eclipse created a striking scene over Paris, with the celestial event forming a dramatic backdrop to the city's iconic Eiffel Tower. Spectators were treated to the rare sight as the moon moved across part of the sun, temporarily changing the appearance of the daytime sky over the French capital. While observers in France and other parts of Europe experienced a partial solar eclipse, the event was seen as a total solar eclipse in Greenland, Iceland, and Spain. The spectacle attracted the attention of sky watchers across several countries, with the silhouette of the Eiffel Tower against the partially eclipsed sun providing one of the more memorable views from Paris. And finally, in international news, at least 15 people have died and 27 are missing after an overloaded ferry capsized on Lake Kariba in Zimbabwe. The Civil Protection Unit says the vessel overturned on Tuesday after encountering strong waves. At least 77 people were rescued. Officials say the ferry, designed to carry 90 people, had at least 114 adult passengers and 5 crew members on board. An unknown number of children may also have been traveling. Search and rescue operations are continuing, with divers, military personnel, speedboats, and a helicopter involved. A witness says the ferry left in bad weather and may have been hit by a wave, causing its engines to fail. Authorities continue to search for the missing as the death toll stands at 15, and our hearts are with them as they go through this tragedy. That's all the international news for this evening. We'll be right back with sports.
Coming up on the outside. Tina coming up on the outside.
Look it. No way.
And in news from the world of sports, the 2026 Caribbean Premier League is underway as the St. Lucia Kings started its 5 home matches at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground yesterday, August 12 at 7 p.m., which will run until August 21. Ahead of the home leg, the St. Lucia Kings management team and players were officially welcomed to St. Lucia during a special cocktail reception at the newly opened Sapphire Sands by Bay Gardens Resort. CEO of St. Lucia Tourism Authority, Luis, welcomed the team and wished the players a successful CPL season, favorable weather, and victory on home soil. Head coach Darren Sammy also introduced the squad, highlighting new and returning players. This year's team features talent from St. Lucia, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and South Africa. The Kings took on the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots yesterday, August 12 at 7 p.m., where the Patriots won by 5 wickets with 14 balls remaining. Chasing 156, the Patriots reached 156 for 5 in 17.4 overs, led by an unbeaten 48 from Andrew Fletcher. They will now face the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons on August 14, the Barbados Tridents on August 16, the Guyana Amazon Warriors on August 19, and the Jamaica Kingsmen on August 21. The remaining matches are all scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. Southeast FC currently occupies second position with 27 points, while Mao Soka Strikers FC are close behind in third place with 26 points. The narrow gap between the teams chasing Dubla is keeping the battle near the top of the table competitive, as the Premier League season continues. With several rescheduled matches still to be played, the standings could see further changes in the coming weeks. As of Tuesday, August 11, Jubla remain the team to catch as they continue their unbeaten run at the top of the DFA Premier League. And finally, from the world of sports, Dominica's senior men's and women's national volleyball teams recorded mixed results as they opened their campaigns at the 2026 ECVA Senior Volleyball Championships in Tortola, British Virgin Islands. The women were involved in a thrilling back-and-forth encounter against Anguilla, battling through 5 sets before eventually going down in a hard-fought defeat. The men, meanwhile, made a strong start to the campaign, securing a convincing 3-1 victory over Bermuda. Both teams will return to the court as the regional championships continues. Dominica's men will face Anguilla at 9 a.m., looking to build on their opening day victory and maintain their winning momentum. At 11 a.m., the women will take on Bermuda, hoping to bounce back from the narrow opening defeat and secure their first victory of the tournament. It has been a competitive start for Team Dominica, with both national teams continuing their quest for success at the ECVA Senior Championships. And that's all for sports. Stay tuned for the weather report.
This has been Emo Nightly News Package for August 13, 2026. We are your presenters, Suanna Gordon
and Michael Pierre. Do have a pleasant evening.